How does the gingerbread man remind me about Jesus during Advent? In this video, I'm going to talk to you all about some very simple ideas for how you can help your children and whole family keep your focus on Jesus while not going crazy trying to make lots of crafts and activities happen at the same time. Hi, everybody. If we're just meeting right now, I'm BJ Muir from JesusHelpMeParent.com, and I help parents just like you become the parent your kids need so they can grow to become the people Jesus is calling them to be. And all month long, I've been sharing on social media about Advent and simple ideas to help families make Advent happen. All too often, we get really lofty plans for Advent as families because we want to keep our kids focused on Jesus. But then within a week, we've often gotten so busy in the season that we end up not doing Advent at all. And so I want to help you prepare your hearts for Jesus, prepare your hearts for Christmas and your children's hearts as well, and not just prepare the presents under the tree. So tonight, let's look at how this little guy can remind us about Jesus. So, right away, you should know this is week 3 of Advent. And during week 3, it's the candle of joy. And the candle of joy is all about exactly that, bringing joy. The first 2 weeks of Advent is building expectations, building hope, building faith. And really, the Christmas story comes into focus this week joy. If you're using an Advent wreath, you might notice that the joy week has a different color candle typically. Oftentimes, people will use purple candles, but this week, you'll see a pink candle to signify this shift in our attitudes, in our heart preparations. We go from remembering the past to thinking about what's coming in terms of Christmas. And so, with that, I want to look at Luke 2, verse 10, where we hear, "But the angel said to them being the shepherds in the fields," you know the story, "but the angel said to them, 'Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all people.'" There's the joy focus. So, how's the gingerbread man going to help us with this? Well, let's go back and realize the story of the gingerbread man. Think about, he's baked in the little oven by the little old lady and the little old man. And what does he do? Does he fall out of that oven? No, he pops out of that oven with lots of energy and excitement. He's got some joy in him. He also comes out with a message. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. You know it. And no matter what version of the gingerbread man story, there's some version of a message, but he has a message. And what else does he do? He is on the move right away, out the door, down the lane, and everybody is following him. The gingerbread man comes out filled with joy. He's filled with energy. He has a message and he's on the move to tell everyone about it. And people follow him. Can you start seeing the connections already? Psalm 96, verse 3 tells us, "Declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous works among all peoples." Matthew 24:14. "And this gospel of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come." Matthew 28:19. "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." You know the rest. It's the Great Commission. But how should we go? We're commanded to go as followers of Jesus Christ. But how should we go? We should go with joy. As the angels said, "I bring you good news that will cause great joy." As followers of Jesus Christ, we should be filled with joy. Even in difficult circumstances, we can be filled with joy. I want you to think about those angels. Think about those shepherds. Those shepherds were sitting there like every other night. Shepherds were not really looked upon positively in that culture. They weren't highly esteemed at all. They were looked down upon. They were out there alone in the fields at night with their flocks. And out of nowhere, in the darkness of night, bursts not just an angel, one angel spoke to them, a whole host of angels. I don't know how many a host is, but it's a lot. Imagine sitting out there and suddenly, poof, in the sky come all these angels. And they're singing and clapping and cheering. They're excited. They're filled with joy. Why? Because they've been watching this whole time throughout history as Yahweh has created humanity and as humanity has rejected a loving God. The angels have been watching and they've been wondering, how will Yahweh fix this? How will Yahweh rescue his people? How will he get ultimate glory? And now, for the first time in a long time, they're really starting to see some major things happen. So they're bursting with joy. Shepherds, they were afraid at first. But then what does the scripture tell us? They go into town. They go hunting around. They're listening for baby cries. They're knocking on doors. Hey, you got a baby lying in a manger somewhere here. And when they find them, they're filled with joy too. And they walked up to Joe and Mary and were like, yo, dude. They probably didn't say dude, but you know what I mean. Yo, dude, you got to know what we just saw, right? They knew this was someone special. They knew this was someone amazing, and they were filled with joy because of it. That's how we should go. We should go like the gingerbread man. We should go like the angels. We should go like the shepherds, filled with joy to share great joy with others. And so when you see a gingerbread man, tell your kids this story. Ask them the question, hey, can you figure out why mommy or daddy is thinking about Jesus when he sees the gingerbread man? And let them say whatever they're going to say. And then you tell them this story that I just told you. Now, there's a couple of other ways you can share joy with your kids this week with just simple things. How much preparation does it take for this? You don't even need to have this. Because I just want it to be simple stuff so that you can do it. Because we're busy right now. Am I right? Put in the comments below. What's been keeping you busy lately? Has it been wrapping gifts? Has it been not wrapping gifts? And everything you're trying to do to get the gifts? Are your gifts even shipping to you right now? What's been keeping you busy? Write that down in the comments below. And if you can think of it, write down what's giving you joy right now as well. But yeah, just take a cookie and ask your kid, how does this remind me of Jesus? I want to tell you a story and tell them this story. But you can take other objects to talk about joy. How about a toy train? A toy train stays on the right track. It has a destination and it keeps on going and keeps on going. Think of a little engine that could, right? So, a toy train, you can use that as well. If you don't have a cookie, Google a gingerbread man on your phone and show them that. Google an image of a toy train. You don't even need to have these things. Y'all got a phone, right? Just do that. What about when you're driving around town? You see these huge, tall inflatables on people's lawns at night. In the day they're like, wah-uh. But during the nighttime, they're huge. Some of you have some neighbors with like ones that are almost as big as the house. Go drive by that house and say, when I see that inflatable, I think about Jesus. And they were like, it's a minion, Dad. It's the Grinch, Mom. How are you thinking about Jesus? And then tell them Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. And talk about how that big inflatable is attracting a lot of attention. It's shining out there, and you all see how cool it looks. And it reminds you about something. Let our lives, not through boasting and bragging, but just by the way we live, shine before everyone, and that they might glorify with joy our Father in heaven. Or what about bells? Bells remind us of joy. The angel tree topper you have, or the star tree topper you have, those can help you be connections you can make to help your kid know this story about the angels coming to the shepherds. You can gather any of these ideas, simple things you can do. All you need is a Bible verse or two and an object, or Google and a picture of the object. And if you're really not sure, just ask Google or Siri or Alexa or somebody Bible verses about joy. and just read a few with your kids. This doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to involve you and your kid and some time together with God's word. And if you can bring some creativity into it, that'd be great too. There's no age limit, there's no kid too young, there's no kid too old to enjoy these types of activities. So go ahead and try these things out. And you know what? While you're at it, how many of you are hoping to develop a closer relationship with your kids? Have you been feeling distant this year? Has all this screen time from being virtual and things like that been getting in the way of relationship building? If it has, head down to the description down below. I've got a free 2-week challenge for you right there. It's called Develop a Closer Relationship with Your Kid in 2 weeks. I'm going to be starting that challenge in January. However, you can just get started whenever you want. Go grab that free downloadable. It's in the description down below and go ahead and get started. I have it all laid out for you. It's super simple because family life is busy. And I want to help you have success with these things. And we know that when we have stronger relationships with kids, that's only going to help them even more in life. So, if you've liked this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and share this with friends of yours that you also think might enjoy using a gingerbread man to tell their kids all about Jesus. And until then, I'll see you next Monday right here at 9 p.m., where we're going to talk about the next week of Advent and another set of simple ideas you can do to get yourself ready, your hearts ready for Jesus. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.